Okay,
Damn,
see, it
okay.
came back. All right.
Hi guys,
Hi.
sorry about that.
Yeah, technical difficulties where apparently
Yeah.
Streamlab was like, dude, you're talking way too loud about brisket, and they say couldn't handle it. But obviously, um, getting that forceful with people, that's pretty much that's my mom's voice coming out of me,
Yeah.
and just screaming at people and want to be like, what the fuck's your problem? And I'm like, all right, that's not the most thing, but it's weird trying to have to convince people that one, what they were doing is not, what hasn't been working, even though they think that it has. Because I'm like, there's not going to be an extra 850 grand or to $1 million that's coming into the business this year because there is no catering business that's coming in. We'll be lucky to get 100 grand this year, and which is not good. That's not like not that's you wouldn't do that. So it's trying to get that and figure out a way to do that. But anyways, the work that I have been able to do to increase the quality of the brisket, it was pretty phenomenal. And I was like, and that's just not me tooting my own horn, but I was like, no, this actually looks like brisket and not overcooked roast beef. And so today, when I went in, I'm bussing tables and I'm trying to get everything going, and we got through the first little hit, and so I'm like, all right, I got a moment. I go back and I pull the brisket out, and I'm like, all right, one of the ones that I know that I had marked. And I'm like, all right, the bark looks good. All right, and I pick it up and it's really really loose, and I'm like, they didn't fucking let it rest like I asked them to. And this is one of those things that when I by the way, when I was working at a pizza restaurant, I would have the exact same thing get pissed off at my dough people, because I can tell them, like, did you fucking even check the temperature of the water before you made this? And they're like, why? I'm like, because I can taste the fact that the yeast didn't fucking rise, you asshole. I could taste it in every one of the fucking pizzas. Why the fuck did you do this? Like, like, and this is because I learned the business from fucking maniacal chefs, and that's exactly how they do things. If you want to have a really, really good product, you need to fucking be dedicated to it and not half-ass it. So that's what I was taught, and that's kind of what I'm trying to convey, but I'm trying to do it in a nicer way. And there's part of me is like, I don't know if I need to be nicer, but
Yeah. Well, yeah.
and it's so it's just weird where as soon as I'm like, all right, I scrape the fat off and I start cutting the brisket, and it took everything for me not to grab this brisket and fucking chuck it out in the middle of the restaurant. Like, I literally wanted to, man. I wanted to throw it out there. I'm
Just
like,
a hot pan fucking
just a hot pan of
flying.
meat that just splatters all over the place, and I'm like, look, it'll do better there than it will be on anybody's fucking plate. Look, like it's.
That's
I was, and that's kind of like that's the maniacal thing. But this is the weird thing, is that I have that same dedication, or I'm finding that same dedication into this show and going into comedy and all this other stuff, where it's kind of like I'm trying to get more out of myself,
yeah.
right? And to get to a different level of performance. And at the same time, I guess if I don't see that in other people, it could be a distraction. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Is like,
Which isn't fair to
oh,
anybody
by the
else,
way,
really.
is that your?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. Sorry.
Okay, no, don't be. Come on, no, it's not. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't
yeah.
cutting you off.
This is why that sucks. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
"Oh,
no,
shit."
that's the thing
Yeah.
I had to fight with forever, man. Because it's a respect thing. Like, you want people to respect the thing you love as much as you do.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, it's not gonna. It's just, you can't get mad at them because it's either they don't respect it, or their way of respecting it is different. You know what I mean? So it doesn't look the same as yours.
Oh no, it's just it's different. Okay, so like if you made.
I'm talking comedy, not like.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Gotcha.
if at work they're like making shit garbage ass brisket and they're like, whatever, man, then yeah, they're being disrespectful assholes, and like then fucking fuck them.
Yeah.
I could see you getting mad, but like, I don't know. It's I feel what you're saying. It's like you. But then again, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. So
Yeah.
you know, if you yell at these motherfuckers and you're like, "Fuck you! You ruining the brisket,"
Yeah.
that's not gonna do you any good.
My idea, what my plan is
It
stuff.
would feel
is
good
that-
though.
Oh yeah. Well, for a little bit until they start yelling back and beat the shit
Yeah.
out of me. I mean, let's be honest. It's not like I'm walking in there bulletproof. That the owner's like, because I think the owner knew that I was pissed off at everybody, including him. I'm like, did you fucking check? Like, is this important? That type of thing. And he was like, man, because he's got a bunch of other shit that he's got to deal with at the same time and stuff, and that's a whole other different conversation that I wouldn't have on here. But he's like, all right, we're gonna make the directions of the prep list and how we're doing it. Now I'm going to translate in Spanish, and then we're going to post it. And so that way, so this is what we're doing now. And if they don't do it, then, and he said this in front of one of these, like, either they learn how to do it or I fire them and get new cooks. And he said this in front of the other cooks. And I was like, okay, all right. Well, that was more than that. But the other thing is it's the one, like, all right, how can I explain this and say, this is what you guys, this is what we think we were doing. This is what we were actually doing. This is why this needs to change. But
I'm actually mad that you said that you had to print it in Spanish.
mm-hmm.
This is America. God damn it. You need to print that shit in Portuguese. I'm fucking with you guys. It's fine. I just give zero. I'm not one of those assholes who's like, America, speak English.
Dude,
no.
Arizona, when I lived there.
Are they like that?
Dude, there are some people, like, if I've seen, or there were stories on the news, I guess, and, or like, let's say if two people are just speaking any other language other than English, like in a public place, so
They freak out.
They freak out like, this is America. What? I'm like, nobody's fucking talking to you.
Yeah.
Nobody is talking to
Dude,
you.
not
like,
to mention, like, there's nothing that warms my heart more
mm-hmm.
than watching someone like a foreigner or like a immigrant into this country
mm-hmm.
speaking broken English, because it means that they're trying.
Yeah.
And God bless that person. God bless them over and over again. I would never talk shit about anybody who's trying to speak English.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, this shit ain't easy, man.
Yeah.
And for you to go, who fucking speak it? Like, what the fuck? Really? Right now? Like I just got here fucking 10 minutes ago. Let me fucking figure this shit out.
Dude, do you ever talk to somebody who's like, because I've worked with a lot of guys like from different parts of Africa.
Yeah.
Ask somebody from Africa how many languages they speak.
Yeah.
If anybody out there and stuff, and you're gonna be surprised. You're gonna feel like
They speak like French, Spanish, Portuguese, German, fucking yeah.
Plus, like, this one guy I knew, Usman Bajaja, he spoke 8 different languages.
Yeah.
8, and I'm like, dude, I could barely hold down one. Like, this is, and it's. But either way, that was just dumb people out in Arizona.
Yeah.
But speaking of dumb people,
yeah,
our video of the week.
Yes,
videos. Since we were talking about, like, because this is the thing is what I love about, like, guy humor is that I think it's really, really funny how stupid it is. That's basically, it's like the Three Stooges, basically. And we were thinking, like, doing, like, sketches and stuff, but I'm like, you know what? I don't want anybody taking a clip of this and then being like, look at these toxic assholes. So we found the best way that we can do guy humor without anybody being confused that we're totally not being serious about this.
And also in the most sophomoric way possible.
Exactly. Like, there were smarter ways we could have done this,
but
absolutely. We chose not to. So...
We chose to go the other
way. Hey, what's shaking?
Not much, man. I just got back from hanging out with that chick from work.
Oh, cool. So what's this new bitch's name?
Whoa. She's got a name. Don't call her a bitch, man.
Sorry. I didn't mean any offense when I called her a bitch.
Yeah. I don't know her name either. But she's cool. I like her a lot. She's really cool.
Oh, so cool. How? Like, what do you mean?
She likes a lot of stuff I like. You know, like, I feel like a connection there. You know what I mean?
So she likes, like, fart jokes?
No, I don't think so.
So what, she's into fart porn?
No, that's not, no.
So you're saying she likes the fart?
Nah, farts, we never talked about farts. Farts never came up. I don't know why you keep on going to farts.
I'm not sure I follow.
She's special, man. She got an energy about her and stuff.
Like, she might be a lesbian, like, at the same time she likes talking to you?
Nah, man. Come on now. I mean, we just like the same kind of stuff. You know, like, shut up, baby. Football and MMA and car repair. Like, you know, cool shit.
Seems legit.
Yeah, man. It's just, I talked to her for a real long time. I feel like we have a connection. Like, the time flew. All of a sudden, I realized I was talking to this chick for like an hour or so, and she didn't tell me to get fucked or nothing. It was strange. Like, I feel like there might be something there, if you know what I mean.
So you're gay now too?
Ah, fuck you, man.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being gay, you know, especially with your new lesbian girlfriend.
Oh, what the fuck, man? I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, why do I even come to you with this stuff? Why do you always say things like that?
Okay. Don't get all worked up about it. I'm here to help.
Yeah, how are you gonna help?
You need to send her a dick pic.
I need to do what again?
You need to send her a dick pic.
That seems a little too much. You know what I mean? It's just like, just know her. I just met her. It's like throwing a Hail Mary. It makes no sense. I mean, it's very high risk, high reward. You know what I mean?
Listen, if there's one thing that I know, is that all women love dick, especially your mom.
Oh, well, fuck.
Zing it!
Yeah. Well, your dad likes pussy. Okay, sorry.
Oh, jeez.
I'm really bad at this. All right, so what do I got to do?
Okay, you gonna do this or what? Come on.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll do it. I'll send her one. I'll see what she thinks. What do you do it now?
No, wait 3 weeks before she loses interest. Yes, do it now. If there's one thing I know, when the moment strikes, you must send a dick pic right with it. Don't even think about it. Just do it. Here, look. I'm gonna look the other way.
I'll be right back.
Oh, you back? Okay, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, so did you do it?
Yeah, I did it.
Okay, so what happened?
Well, she's a lesbian now.
Like now, after the dick pic, or
No, she always was. In fact, her wife got it, and now she's mad at me.
Hey guys, hopefully. So yes, we're gonna go really. We're very mature about our talking. What we want to talk about.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I played that for Jenny that night after we got done and stuff, and she was laughing her ass off.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah,
Good.
and I was like, okay, cool. So there's, I mean, if
Yeah.
the thing is, like, I know she's good. There's a supportive laugh, right?
Yeah.
But then there's the ones where I could tell what she actually is like. Oh my god, that was funny.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, okay, great. But
Yeah. You're gonna see a lot more of them fucking socks, by the way. So fuck you guys if you don't like it. We're gonna cram that sock right up your ass.
the toxic shock theater, or I don't know what it is, but either way.
You all are gonna have toxic shock syndrome. I'll be here all night trying the veal. Fuck my life. But yeah, no, totally. I like it.
Yeah, no, I was really happy with that. And I'm like, now we know also how to do a little bit better. And it was really fun writing out that whole script and everything that day. It was just,
we worked wicked hard on that.
Yeah, exactly. That took like more than 5 minutes, as opposed to the first video I did that literally only took me 5 minutes, and it shows. It shows on that.
Top of your head.
So, yeah, I know.
That's the thing about this show. We have to take ourselves not so seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I like it.
If you haven't noticed from what I was talking about earlier, I take myself way too seriously, and this is kind of like pulling the rug out from under and actually just getting to this shit. But what we were talking about, our topic of the week, and we always like to have a little something like if we were going to give advice to ourselves when we were younger.
Yeah.
What would we say? And that's kind of what we're going to here. Is that I think we actually we started how to walk away.
Yeah.
Or when to know when to walk away.
And no, we don't mean politically. This is no.
No, this is about relationships. This is a couple different types of relationships, man. It could be for any reason. There's the type where, let's say, a girl is madly in love with you and she wants to spend the rest of her life with you, but you don't feel the same way. That's going to be tough to walk away from, right? Because you're the bad guy in that situation. Or you're in an abusive relationship and this person, like Walter White and his freaking wife in Breaking Bad. How do you walk away from that, Or there's definitely a whole bunch of different ways. Or on top of that, if somebody is here's the one that I had a lot. What if you were going fucking legit fucking apeshit crazy for somebody and they don't feel the same way about you?
Yeah.
How do you walk away from that? So, where's a good place where we should start, I think?
Okay, so I can just, by the way, all this stuff we talk about, I know there's some people out there that want to give advice that don't really know what to talk. We're speaking from either past failures, or past missed opportunities, shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not, this is like advice to where like we're telling you like, hey, listen, like we fucked up, and here's how it's like reverse engineering a bad idea.
Exactly, like the video you just saw. Or, I mean,
that was good, man. Come on.
It was good, yeah. But it's like if you saw me come up here and like, guys, I'm going to give you some dieting tips. Yeah. And you're like, what? He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
And I mean, listen, I haven't been laid since Trump was like first inaugurated, so I can't even say shit.
Yeah, it was actually during the inauguration.
It was during the inauguration. Me and Candace Owens went in the back and fucked in a porta potty.
Yeah.
No. Anyway. No. Okay. I'll do one.
Okay.
Like from my experience, there's this girl I dated 3 years ago. And so me and her dated, and it was hot and heavy real quick. And I really liked her, man. I'm trying to get with her for fucking couple years. And she was like with somebody, or she was just not around, so I didn't really get a chance. And then I got my chance, and I took advantage of it, not like in a bad way, but I took advantage of the chance, and I made it happen, which was great. And it was good for like about a month, and then the wheels, everything came undone. Like everything came undone, like Buster Keaton style, like the fucking, you know what I'm saying, like just. And then we ended up stopped. And then I broke up with her. And then while breaking up with her, I fucking started dating somebody else while I was broken up with the first girl. And that, because of her, my mind was kind of on that chick the whole time. Not the whole time, but like, I don't know. She was in like the back of my brain a lot. Because I saw her. I used to work with her. So like I saw her all the fucking time. And then eventually, like, and I put like a giant wall between us. But I knew that I couldn't get away from the fact that I liked her. Still liked her. Was crazy about her. And then I ended up fucking up a lot of my with that other relationship, because I don't feel like I could have given her the entire amount of me, if you will. So then me and her kind of got, we really didn't even get back together. What happened was like I was hanging out with her again, and she was basically she was simping me. Like I was like going over her house and sleeping over, but nothing would happen. And she would, have me go with her to like Target and shit like that, and I'd hang out with her. And I didn't know how to walk away. And I literally had to burn it all to the ground. Like I had to quit my job. I had to like all that shit. I did just, and you don't have to do that. You could be better than that. I'm just saying that's how bad it gets sometimes for some dudes. Where like they don't know how, you've got to literally, it's like having a cut in your hand and ripping your whole arm off. You know what I mean? That's
fuck this thing.
Yeah, just fucking tear your arm out of the socket, fucking over a hangnail, and so don't do that. That's a terrible idea. You have to be able to look at that person in the face and be like, I can't do this anymore, and walk away and stay walked away. Because she sent me DMs after we broke up, like the final time, like sad fucking dog emojis and all that shit. And I was like, and I had to ignore it. I had no choice. I had to. Because I know if I would have engaged, it would have sucked me right the fuck back in. And that's the problem that a lot of dudes, me included, have, is that you want to get away from that and you can't, because every time you try, feelings get you. And then you're like, oh, how are you doing? I haven't heard from you in a while. And then wham, you're right back to where you started.
Yeah, because there's those things like, the feeling needed, feeling wanted. That's what always kind of drove me in.
Oh yeah, big time.
There was a situation that, man, that I was not the hero of this story. That it was somebody that I dated previously years and years ago, and the opportunity arose for them to come and hang out, have some fun and stuff. And I knew it was a bad idea, but there was something about, and I made a bit about it, which I won't do here, but it was pretty selfish in nature, looking back on it, Didn't seem that way at the time, and that's one of the things that I think it's kind of important I want to get across, is that being really, really, really cognizant of what you're doing and why you're doing it is so fucking important, because after they came out to visit, they caught feelings, and it's this thing where I'm like, oh no, this is horrible. And this person kept messaging me, and I couldn't respond to them for a year. Because it's like, I'm like, hey, I don't think we should be talking so much, because I think this is really, I think you're getting really involved in stuff. And then it's just like, but I miss you, but I love you, but I this. And I'm like, every time that they would message me, I'm like, you were such a piece of shit, Dave. You should never fucking done this. Why did you do this? You fucking hurt this person. You hurt this person. And granted, that's all coming on my end, but I mean, they got to take responsibility for themselves as well. But which they did, and they're living a much better life now, anyways. Which is, I'm really happy for them. But there was this one gal that I dated years ago. This is like in my mid-20s, right? And before my first marriage and stuff. And it was one of those chaotic where like it starts off and everything's fucking great.
Yeah.
Dude, this is one of the things that's really careful. By the way, if you're any young dudes out there, is when you first start a relationship, let's say, and it's been a while, keep in mind your brain is firing off so many synapses where you've got this euphoric feeling that you don't notice things like, wow, this person's drunk all the time. Or, how come they always want to have sex in public? That doesn't make any sense. All right, whatever. That's cool. They're just a wild, crazy person.
This is all ringing a bell.
Yeah. And that's it. And there was this one, and I remember like this relationship started. We moved in really, really fast. I ended up having to leave, sleep on my buddy's couch for a bit. Shout out to Clay for letting me crash on their couch and stuff. And it was weird. I was like, man, I was pretty close to being homeless after the whole situation. Now, the weird thing was that there was like, ooh, the booty call, right?
Yeah.
So that happens afterwards, too. And this is one of those things that we always had, that was always a good part of the relationship, was the sex, right? And the last time that we'd hooked up, where I'm like, I know we're not dating anymore. This has been a couple of months and stuff. And we didn't even finish because she was crying a lot.
Jesus.
Right? And I was like,
boy.
are you sure you want to? She's like, just fucking do it. I'm like, all right. I'm like, I feel like
Like he was like raping herself with your dick.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jesus.
And then she was like, we both know what the fuck this is. That's it. Just whatever. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have come here. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't feel good about this. She doesn't feel good about this. Let's just not do it now. And that's just like craziness of your 20s and stuff, right? Now, the thing is where I really, really fucked up is that about a month or two later, I was basically feeling horny. I'm like, I wonder if I should give her a call and see how she's doing.
And?
Oh, she picks up the phone.
Oh,
and
no.
She was like,
you called her?
Yeah, I called her.
Oh, I thought you texted her.
No. I called her, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? And she was like, why the fuck are you calling me? Do you love me? Do you hate me? Why the fuck are you doing this? Why? What do you want? Do you want to date? Do you want to get back together or not? Why the fuck do you And I was like, this was a mistake. I'm sorry. I won't call again. She's like, all right, just fucking don't. Please don't. And I was like, okay. And so this is somebody that I've never been able to really kind of apologize to. I'm like, you know what? I was in a very, I'm going to make this sound bullshit. I think I was so starved for somebody to care about me and that because I wasn't doing that for myself.
Yeah. You just want to get laid.
Well, I just wanted somebody to fucking notice me and care about me.
Yeah.
Getting laid thing was a great part on top of that. But for the most part, it was.
You were fucking with her head.
Inadvertently.
Yeah.
Inadvertently, and I was like, oh, holy shit.
Be careful with that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So the time for that I should have walked away was probably way before any of that, but it was because it was a chaotic relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that, she was really messed up. Dude, I was super fucking messed up back then. Super messed up. So we spoke the same level of crazy. And I'm like,
yep. Uh-huh.
I'm like, holy shit, I should have walked away.
The old yin-yang thing.
Yeah, yep. Exactly. And that was the stuff that happened. Now, this is another thing I wanted to give you something that I wish I would have known or somebody would have told me. When trying to get with a girl, it's really important to make sure that you still could look yourself in the mirror and still like you.
Yeah, because I had a few of those where I was doing something I shouldn't have been, and I was like, "What am I fucking doing?"
Dude, I used to obsess over girls like really, really fucking bad. Where I'm like, once again, it came from a place where I'm like, I hate myself. I need somebody to love me, and
I've never done that.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, that's one of the things that was so fucking so crazy. I remember at one point there was this gal that like I called her all the time. That's fucking horrible.
Don't do that.
I wrote a song that I sang for her.
Oh no.
All right. By the way, this would have been great if I was a great musician and knew how to sing, but I didn't.
Your name's not John Cusack either.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Your eyes.
Yeah, right. Oh, dude. And when it got to the fucking point where, like, she did this weird thing. Where it was like New Year's Eve. She texted me. She's like, "Hey, why don't you come over?" And of course, I'm like, all right. And then she gave me the address, but she didn't tell me what apartment she was in. And then when I got there, she never returned any of my calls and stuff. So that was like 40 minutes that I drove out there, and I felt shit. Like I should have called that the Cohen move. Or the Jeff Cohn move, but shout out to Jeff Cohn.
Shout out to him.
But the whole thing is that I was so pissed. I'm like, why? What did I do to you? You know? And I wrote like an email the next day, and I was like, I promise I'm not going to call anymore because I've really had I don't like me like this.
Yeah.
I know that I'm being obsessive. I know that I'm being fucking nuts right now. I could see like. I could see it kind of, not to the extent of what it was, and I'm like, I don't like me when I'm like this.
Yeah.
So, like Jenny, who I've been with for almost 10 years this October, there's never been a point in that relationship where I've been like, man, I don't like me. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And
Because Jenny's rad.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I had to go through all those things in order to get to that relationship.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things of like having to know when to walk away is one really, really being, like I said, going back is like being cognizant of what your intentions are, you know, because not what you think, what are your actions saying that what you're doing, you know,
Yeah.
because you could think you're being a really good guy, but your actions are like, I just need somebody here.
Yeah, no, that was part of the problem too. I mean, I know that deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've done that. I had a one night stand one time. Actually, it wasn't even a one night stand. Went on a couple dates with this chick, and I had like a one night stand that I just ghosted her, and I felt terrible about it. Then she hit me up like about 2 years later, all she said was, "Hey, like, I don't hate you. Like, what? How you doing?" And I just like let loose, be like, "Listen, man, I don't do that shit. I did it to you. I feel fucking terrible about it." And it was because, okay, so I had some medical issues a while ago, like about 5 years ago or so. And when you go through shit like that, you think either A, you've beaten death, or B, you're close to it. So you just like, all fucks go out the window. I don't give a shit. So, and then there was this chick that I knew that liked me. So I DM'd her. I was like, yo, what are you doing tonight? And we hung out once. We had second base type of shit, you know, making out, heavy petting, all that shit. Second time, we went back to her place and banged out real good. Third time, did it again. And I was starting to kind of feel like there was something there. And then because I was so, like, didn't know what the fuck was going on with myself, I literally just ghosted the shit out of her. And she didn't fucking deserve that. She didn't know, you know? And I felt really bad. Like, I'm not that dude. Like, some guys can just do that and shit and just walk away and be like, whatever, man. Like, yeah. I can't. I don't have that in me. So when I do it, I feel fucking terrible. I don't feel good. And I kind of get depressed about it because I was like, I did a shitty thing. I don't like it. So that's, you know, so I mean, I don't really know how to really avoid that one. I think it was just, you got to understand sometimes that you are the shithead in the situation.
But at the same time, you don't have to be the friggin' shiny knight either. Like,
yeah.
Like I mentioned, even a lot of the other stuff, like, you know, the stories that I was telling, or the stories you're telling, we're telling from our perspective, right? There's a whole other person that's involved in that equation and stuff, and they've got, you know, choices they got to make and responsibilities they got to keep as well. So, but we mentioned this stuff just for the young fellas out there because I wasted a lot of time hating me because I was putting myself in situations that I shouldn't have been in. And if I would have been, if somebody said, "Hey, asshole, come here for a second."
Yeah.
Like,
well, here's the thing, though. You think, like, do you honestly think that you would have listened to an older self?
I think, you know what, there were certain times, like, even though, like my brother Drew, all right?
Okay.
And Drew's gone through many ups and downs in his life, and, you know, even when he was the most messed up, I still would have listened to my older brother because he's my older brother, you know? Or like I grew up, because my dad passed away. Your dad he wasn't somebody who was like, "Jake, come on, tell me what's going on with your day."
Oh,
you know, like, that wasn't.
We would have these talks, but it was like few and far between. I'm not saying he was never there, but like when you wanted him to be there, he was not. You know. Right.
So if you don't have somebody like that older figure, another dude to be like, "All right, jackass, this is what the problem is. You're thinking with your dick, and this is why this is happening." And you're like, "What? All right, so this is how you fucking get at it." You know, like one of the things when I was going a psychiatrist, he was like, people think that men get all of their emotional intimacy and stuff like that from their moms. They learn how to feel, you know, from their mothers, but they learn about relationships from their dads.
Yeah. And
so the dads are the ones, like, if your dad's not there to teach you and be like, "Okay, so you're getting kind of freaking nuts for this girl, right?" And, you know, like, "All right, okay." Like, a guy would, if your dad was like, if you're not listening, he's like, "All right, start doing push-ups." "What? Fucking now, start doing push-ups right now." And he's going to wear you out until you get all that energy out and like, "All right, now listen." And if you don't listen, "Oh, you want to go fucking run around the block?" You know, because he's trying to wear out that testosterone.
Yeah.
Basically, and be like, "Okay, do you understand what I'm saying now?" It's like, "Oh, okay." And you'll fucking get it because he's like, "Yeah, that my brain wasn't working right. Like, you're right, your brain wasn't working right, and that's that type of weird shit. So
my dad waited until the day before I got married to give me that talk. Are you sure you want to do this? I'm like, well, it's a little too fucking late now.
Yeah.
Fucking people have flown here. Like, I have rented a hull. Like, we spent thousands of dollars, and now you want to be like, so Jacob, you really think this was a girl for you? No, Dad, this is all a joke. You fucking idiot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like,
my mom said that in front of before my my first marriage.
Oh yeah.
She's like, I don't think you love her, sweetie.
Oof.
And I go, Mom, yeah, I do. And she's like, you got to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, I wouldn't. I have to tell you.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm like, okay. She's like, I won't mention anything else about this ever again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And even like one of my ex-girlfriends, Amy, who's still a good friend of mine, she was like, yeah, after I met her, I'm like, yeah, she just doesn't seem like somebody would be for you. And I'm like,
yeah.
But you know what? At that time, like, I wasn't going to listen to my mom. I wasn't going to listen to... And by the way, Amy at that time knows me very, very well.
Yeah.
I would say the only person who knows me more than she does would be my wife. And it's really weird. Now, if my dad would have been there and like, all right, dickhead, come here for a second. Like, you see how when you say you want to have these dreams and shit like that, and she kind of like slightly brushes it aside, yeah, that's not going to go away. That's going to keep coming back more and more and stronger until she breaks it down. The best chance you have right now is to set your car on fire and then get a new name and just move to New Mexico or some shit. All right? It's the only way you're getting out of this. Now go, run, bitch. But, yeah, that's it's a weird thing, but that's the part of growing up. That's a part of learning, you know, guys. Like I said, I went through a lot of shit stuff, but I got to a really good spot, and then I've been pretty fulfilled with, I choose this word carefully. Like, I'm not trying to be happy. I'm trying to be fulfilled. I'm very fulfilled of what the relationship that I had now. So, and guys get it too. It's really tricky because there's not a lot of freaking roadmaps.
Ooh.
You know?
Plus that dick is speaking to you real loud. Like, don't worry about that. Just stick me in her pussy. That's all it's doing the whole time. So it's like and then you'll just blow by so many red flags, and you won't give a fuck. Or like I mean, my marriage we should have never gotten fucking married.
Right.
It should have I mean, granted, I'm not saying it didn't. I mean, it's hindsight's 20/20.
Right.
But like there were some things that I knew right off the bat. Like I thought, I don't know. That was one of those situations where we should have dated for like a year or two, and then realized like, oh, this is not going to go the way we both were going different directions.
Yeah.
And I tried to live in her world, and I hated it. She tried to live in my world, and she hated it. Like,
right.
You know, and we kind of like we were good together, but not great together. So, but like the point is like the walking away thing is like. You got to know when to do it. Otherwise, you're in, like, if the longer you wait, the more of the situation's going to get serious, the more the Band-Aid's going to stick to you. So when it gets ripped off, which, by the way, is not your choice sometimes, it's going to hurt, and it's going to hurt real fucking bad. And it's, you know, just how you fucking deal with it.
You should ask the question before you move in with that person.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying get cold feet. Like, I mean, this person could be awesome. You've got to be honest with yourself and maybe talk to the person you're dating. And if you bring this shit up to them and they act like an asshole to you, then maybe that answers your question for you.
Yep.
Bam. There you go. You know, you got to find someone who's worth half a fuck. You know, and that's the hard part. That's way easier said than done. Trust me.
About it, man. I think you imagine it would be like, here's a good question I should have asked myself because I didn't really know I wanted to be a comedian.
I did
before I got my first marriage.
Yeah.
That was something that started coming back like around, like I would say, around the same time. So, and we'd already gotten married at that point, but I was thinking that like, man, she doesn't really like stand-up comedy or crude humor. That should have been, like,
Whoa,
had I known that before, I'm like, oh, you know what? I could save us a lot of time.
Yeah.
But for me, the last walking away story that I'll have, after the divorce, and by the way, I cheated incessantly on my first wife. Like,
Whoops.
a lot. And no, that was my subconscious going like, I'm going to find, you're too much of a wuss to walk away from this. I'm going to make you fucking walk away.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to set every relationship that you have, especially this one that you're supposed to be dedicated to this person for life. I'm going to set that relationship on fire.
Yeah.
And so much to the point where, I mean, I was I was so divorced of anything away from like who I wanted to be
Yeah.
that like I didn't recognize myself, and it was pretty fucking scary when you get to that point, guys. But hopefully you never do. But even after all that stuff is gone, we're divorced, or even like we're separated. We're definitely getting a divorce and everything. I was still trying to be a friend and still be friends with her.
Yeah.
Right. She had no interest in being friends with me whatsoever, and because of my guilt of everything that I had done, I kept wanting to keep doing it. And it wasn't, I think, until I started dating Jenny. Like, we were moving something, like we rented a U-Haul or something like that, and we were moving something over and taking over to my sister's. And I get a call and from my ex-wife, and she just saw the Mystery Diners thing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't supposed to tell anybody that I was a paid performer on that.
Okay.
Even though it's in the credits, it says that actors were used, for some of these things like that. So, it says that in the end credits just to cover their own asses. But at the time, according to my contract, I had an NDA, which they said that's in perpetuity. I'm like, well, everybody fucking knows this thing now. So it's not like I'm breaking any fucking things here. But either way, I'm like, oh, yeah, I freaking saw that. And I was like, yeah, well, like, why is Jan, my friends say they saw you on TV. I'm like, because, like, okay, like, were you stealing from this company?
What the fuck?
And I'm like, Jen, what did I go to New York for? She's like, why are you asking me what you went to New York for? I'm like, what did I go to New York for?
That will answer.
And she was like, for acting? I'm like, okay. So if you see me on TV, there's a good chance that I was fucking acting. And it was just weird. And she's like, well, I don't know what people are going to think about this stuff. And I'm like, all right, I got to go. She's like, all right, well, whatever. And then she, that's how we hung up. And she tried to be my friend a couple times. But the moment I started talking, I could see the middle, like she just couldn't wait to get off the phone with me. And I think it was weird because I think it was because she was on speaker and Jenny was with me.
Yeah.
And she was like, what a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? She's like, I know I'm proud of you for doing that. I'm proud that you were able to do this. That's a fucking amazing thing that you did to get on TV. Why is she fucking shitting all over it? And it was just one of those things where I'm like, why am I still trying to be a friend to somebody who doesn't want to be a friend to me?
Also, you don't always have to fucking do that, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm tired of these fucking soy boy assholes that are like, I'm best friends with my ex-girlfriend who fucked all of my friends. Dude, walk the fuck away. You don't have to be friends with this chick.
Mm-hmm.
And I have people in my life that are like, it's really good if you just stay in contact. No. Literally burn that motherfucker to the ground. Burn that bridge. Sometimes. I'm not saying all the time. Because there are some ex-girlfriends that I know. We're not like best friends. Like, I'm not flipping you off. I'm giving the cross finger thing. We're friendly. Like if I see her at somewhere, I'll be like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how's this? How's that? Oh, good for you. All right, I'll catch you later. I'm not like, fuck you, bitch. Like I'm not.
Yeah, you're not like giving her the fucking evil eye and shit.
There are
like,
dudes that are like, that they hang out like they're still dating, and you're like, who is this? Your girlfriend? Oh no, it's my friend. We used to date, and now we just hang out a bunch, and blah blah blah. And I'm like,
what are you doing there?
Like, are you just torturing yourself? What the fuck is this?
That would be a good example of a guy who has not figured out how to walk away.
You got to do it,
and it's because you're the more you torture yourself inadvertently is the more you're going to torture everybody around you.
I've told a couple ex-girlfriends of mine, but like the one I first talked about, that one, her, she thought we could be friends still.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to literally tell her, listen, if we're friends, I'm always going to think I have a chance to get back with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always going to think that. That thought's never going to go away.
Yeah.
It's just not. And you're going to get weirded out. I'll be like, why are you fucking... I might get jealous on you. I might get, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And also I'm going to get that weird feeling like you're trying to rub this shit in my face. Which she kind of was that chick. But I don't want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not taking a fucking demotion.
Yeah.
That's what you want me to do. Take a fucking demotion. I'm not doing that.
Right.
If we're no longer dating and we're no longer boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife, unless we have kids together where I have to be in your life, fucking you are persona non grata. I'm sorry. Nothing personal, but like it's for both. It's for the good of both people.
Right.
It is. It just is.
Yeah, it is. There was I mentioned one of the Amy, this old girlfriend of mine, and still a good friend. But I can only be around them for so long because I know that, and she still wanted, like, we had such an amazing relationship in that early part of it. Like, as chaotic as my 20s were, that was like an island of sanity that was really good at that particular time. And there was never going to be a part, and I wish I would have realized this sooner, there was never going to be a part of me that wasn't going to be okay with anything other than that relationship.
Yeah, sorry.
That took me so long to kind of figure out, and then I was like, well, that relationship that we had, in my mind, it's forever going to exist in the past.
Yep.
It does not exist in the present. She has other relationships and other stuff around, but when she was talking about like whoever or whatever whoever she was dating, I could still feel that bit of a twinge in my chest and stuff. And so I'm like, all right, if I'm starting to feel this, then I probably shouldn't be hanging out as much. Okay, I got that. So,
By the way, don't bury that either, because if you just shove that down, you're just like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. That shit will bubble back up, and you're fucked. You will, and then all of a sudden you'll have a screaming match in the parking lot of a fucking Best Buy because she said,
for me.
Yeah, because she said hi to a guy, even though you're not dating, you're gonna get this jealous rage, and then all of a sudden you're like, why the? Then she's gonna think you're a weirdo because like you're fucking losing it on her, and it's not because of the guy at the Best Buy. It's because you've had all this shit, like just completely like just. It's like you're back. It's like you're emotionally constipated, and that was the thing that broke everything loose. And now you're verbally shitting yourself in front of her.
Yeah,
and that doesn't look good for anybody. You should just be honest with her and be willing to just say, fuck this, I can't be around you. Nothing personal, just can't do it.
Right.
Gotta be.
Yeah, exactly. That ties in with the friend zone from our first episode.
Yep.
And we got some more things that we're going to be talking about. And if you guys ever have any questions, or anybody who's out there who happens to listen to this podcast, or if it watches like the videos on the live stream or whatever, feel free to shoot us a message or shoot us an email.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Mansplaining69@gmail.com, because I'm classy.
Nice.
Yes, or hit us up on the Facebook page. We got Mansplaining with Jake and Dave. There's a Facebook page for it where a lot of the chopped up versions of this, just videos and clips and stuff, and also on YouTube and all that other weird fun shit.
So yes, if you want us to reverse engineer a fuck up in your life, because we've done it before,
yep,
we're here for you.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, hey, listen, man, out of curiosity, do you think it's a good idea that I do this? And we'll be like,
no.
You know what you should do is dress up like a buffalo and then go storm wherever she's living at, and then
Yep.
That's the capital, dude.
And then when you get arrested, ask for organic food.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I was so pissed at the fucking holding companies or whatever because I wanted to buy more fucking AMC this week.
Yeah.
And for like about a good 12 hours, no, for about 6 hours, I couldn't. So all I could do was watch my investment fucking drop and drop and drop. And I was so pissed off. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go see. I'm gonna make me a buffalo costume.
Face paint on.
Yeah, exactly.
Red face paint. Put the horns on.
Exactly. Just go to fucking Wall Street and be like, yeah. But luckily, I've got friends to be like, here, come here, stupid.
No, yeah.
You're not doing that. And I'm like, oh, you're right.
Just wait for the class action lawsuit. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. But I think, quick little announcement. This is only the third episode, guys, but we were trying to do this once a week, but I think we're going to go to every other week.
Yeah.
To do this because, one, there's plenty of other podcasts you guys could be listening to in the meantime. But not because of that, because we want to also put like a good show and not just kind of throw shit together, you know. I'm really happy with the video that we did this week.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see if we could push and see what other kind of cool stuff we could make.
Yeah.
You know? And so we're going to do a little bit more into that. And, there's some more stuff. Don't forget, if I can follow Hamill on Facebook.
Jacob Hamill on Facebook. That's I am a white dude sitting next to a black guy. He's my friend Lou. He's dead now, so I hold him deep in my heart. That's why I'll always have that profile photo. Also, you can get me on Instagram at, I think it's Jake Hamill 1981. And also the podcast that we do on Mondays, you can check it on Facebook. It's on around 6:30 on Facebook, and it's called The You People Show. So please check it out.
Fun stuff with Barry Quattlebaum, Anthony Armstrong. What's James Fisher?
And James Fisher, the producer.
Yeah, by the way, don't try to frickin' make any jokes in the chat room because as much as I love James will read whatever I put in there, which, by the way, at the time when I wrote it was fucking epic. fucking Armstrong is like, keep writing, Jermaine. I'm like, God damn it! If you would have fucking read that 3 minutes ago at that time, it would have been great. But yeah, he'll basically read those things like way after where they don't make any sense. But I appreciate all those guys. It was fun. You know where that did work is when I was doing the Apocalypse show.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
Either way, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks.
Don't be toxic.
Don't be toxic. Night.